Hello, lovelies. Welcome to the Go Pure Glow Show. My name is Stephanie Classy. I'm a licensed clinical esthetician and your head of education here at Go Pure. When you hop on, say hello. I see so many of you on tonight. Thank you so much for all of you having a Galentine's Day night in with me. We are going to have an amazing guest I'm going to introduce in just a moment. But tonight we're going to be talking all about some of our favorite skincare pairs and how to add an amazing synergy to your skincare routine, and maybe talk about some of the most shareable products we have here at Go Pure that you would want to share with your girlfriends and galentines. So when you hop on, say hello. I see Nicole, Lindsay, Judith, Julie, Heather. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to be doing giveaways. We are going to be doing lots of giveaways tonight, and we are going to be giving away some of our favorite skincare pairs throughout the duration of the show. So make sure you're liking, commenting, and sharing. Let us know what platform you're joining us from: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or our VIP group. And we are so excited to just chat and share. I see we have people joining us from Arizona. Hey, Galentines. I know Galentines is so much fun. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Vanessa Chamberlain. She has been a guest of ours before. She is so phenomenal. She is an author. She is an incredible content creator, and she just really loves sharing the ways that she feels empowered in her skin and with her silver hair, and helping you all navigate the aging process in an empowered, beautiful way. And she has the most stunning hair ever, and she's just lovely. So without further ado, let's welcome Vanessa Chamberlain to the show, and let's give Vanessa a warm welcome. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. I love it. We are doing one of my favorite things ever, and that is talking about skincare. All things skincare. It has my heart. It's perfect for Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, any day to celebrate us women and our skin. I'm in for it.
Well, and you just have I love the way that you come at the conversation, just really sharing your own personal journey, because skincare is so subjective. It's so different, but there are some very real consistent challenges that women navigate, like pre-menopause, during menopause, post-menopause. And you are so passionate about speaking to that and sharing your perspective while looking dewy, glowy, and fabulous at the same time. And I'm loving your vibe, the heart sweater and the
Yes,
we are
I have to show you guys.
Galentine.
Yes, let's do that. This is my TJ Maxx find for
Love
$16.99.
it.
I'm a thrifter. I love a good deal. And then, of course, my little Roma designer hearts. We have to give a little shout out to the little heart trio. I love love. And yours, and look at your hearts. I love it.
I had to hop in on the fun. I was gonna wear these and I almost forgot. And then I saw how adorable and Galentine's you were. And I was like, how could I almost forget to bring the Galentine's Day fun to the party?
Awesome. You guys have you have new products we're going to talk about today that I am loving. This is great. So what's the plan for the evening? What have you got in store for us? What are we going to experience?
I mean, we haven't chatted for a bit and we have launched some new products. And I just love having a great banter about how you use the product, some of your favorite pairs, and us kind of sharing our perspective, both just as real women who use these, and share it with our Galentines in the chat. They're loving your lovely sweaters. They loving your hair. Can you see the comments?
I can't. Where do I see the comments? I want to see the comments. Well, you'll just have to tell me if they're. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know this. I was having a bad hair day yesterday. It was really one of those, I tried some new products and I said, and I was supposed to shoot some content too, and my hair was not looking so good. I'm like, so tip, don't use something brand new when you're not sure and you're going to film. But it's looking better today, a little bit better.
It looks stunning. It looks stunning. And everyone can follow Vanessa. Her handle is at Silver Liberation. It's at scrolling along the bottom. So make sure you all follow Vanessa on all of the channels, because she just does share such great content. It's really fun. And you're just always on point. So first, should we do a giveaway? I feel like
yes,
we should do a giveaway. I like kicking it off with having everyone really light up the comments. So I think we should have everyone, if you can share this, whatever platform you're on, if you can share this and hit the share button, I want to see how many shares we can get first. And then maybe should we have everyone post what do you think is the most shareable product from GoPure? Like, what product from GoPure do you want to share with your girlfriends and Galentines this lovely Galentine's Day? What do we think about that question? Because I'm always want to know.
I love that. You're right. What's the one product that you've tried of GoPure's that you think is just the chef's kiss that everyone should have in their routine, that is user friendly, and whether you are, 19 like my daughter, or you're 54 like me, or everything in between, what is that one product that you think, wow, this would make my girlfriend's day if she had this? And boy, would her skin look even better if she used this dewy.
I always love hearing. So Vanessa, I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you think is, like, if just off the top of your head, what's the first thing that pops into your head with, like, what is your ultimate shareable item from GoPure?
It would be dewy. It would be dewy, because I do believe, there's so many different products. In fact, everything that we're going to be chatting about today are probably my favorites of the bunch. But what I love about the dewy is I think it's the one product that is, most people, especially when they're first starting out in a skincare routine, or they don't even call it the routine, they're and they're lost and confused about what to use and what not to use. They basically start with a moisturizer. They wash their face with a cleanser. They moisturize, and they might even have an eye cream, and that's it. And then they wonder, and they're kind of looking okay. And then here's my perspective on this. Then they're using that, and then they're kind of looking at their peers and saying, like, my makeup doesn't look like that when I put it on, or why does my skin not glow like hers? And while there's a lot of factors in things that can cause someone to look better or not, in their skin, but there is a serum. When you add a serum like the dewy, which gives you that I call it the glass skin, the dewy, the glowy look, it is a game changer for your skincare. So adding that one product, to me, is what up levels just your skin overall, and your moisturizing. Like, if you did nothing else, although you need some other things, like vitamin C serum is like a must, ladies, this would be it.
And that is a popular one so many people are saying the dewy, the neck cream, the eye cream, the trio. A lot of people are saying everything, or they can't pick. So yeah, but it's so fun to see the dewy is a really, really popular one. All right, we have a winner. So let's see who our first winner is. Ruth Burrito, you won our double cleanse duo. So the first duo we're giving away is the double cleanse duo with the gentle gel cleanser and our new superfruit enzymes cleansing balm. And we are totally about that too, because that is obviously a great pairing.
Oh, the double cleanse is the must. That's probably one of the biggest changes in my skincare that I love. And I know we're going to talk about that, but man, the double cleanse is, I'm so happy you guys have this in the lineup now.
We can start by talking. We can jump all over. Like, we can totally start by talking, because we gave that away. That's how we kick off a nighttime routine, and a great way if we, to start a Galentine's night in facial routine or something.
Let's because that's the foundation. I'm so excited. I love skincare. I love, because it does start, like, before we put anything on, we've got to cleanse the skin. And I think, and I was one for years, you probably were too. For years, I did the one step. I thought, and when I first heard about double cleansing, I thought, well, that's kind of redundant. That's just a marketing thing for brands to sell more product. That's really, honestly, that's what I initially thought. And then I tried it. And not only did I try it, but what I realized when I started double cleansing is that, especially in the evening after you've worn makeup all day, or if here's a caveat: makeup or sunscreen, and or both. So even if you're saying, well, I don't wear makeup, but you do wear sunscreen, you got to double cleanse. And the reason is because this is how my skin was so much less dull after I did this. You don't realize when you've got your makeup on, you may use like the makeup oil remover, the old fashioned, that we would use to take off our lipstick in our eye makeup. But even when I would use a washcloth, you didn't get all of it off. You didn't get all that makeup off. So it would sit. So you would wash it. You would have this, misconception that you got all the gunk out of your, off of your face. And why that's important is, especially those women that have, that have acne, have issues like that. That's one, it can clog the pores. But two, it's not only about clogging the pores. It really is about giving you that really radiant glow. What I love about the double cleanse is you start with the dry face using the oil. Okay, I made the mistake the first time putting my face wet, when the first time I ever did a double cleanse, I'm like, oh, that doesn't, water and oil don't mix.
Something's not working here.
Exactly. But what is so beautiful is you start with your balm, with your cleansing balm, your face. So like if I was doing my face right now, I would dip into the lovely, and a little goes a long way, and I would rub it all over my face. And what I love is that it's two things. It's not only is it cleansing the skin, but I feel like it's a beauty treatment. I really believe, because it is in many ways hydrating, not stripping the face, but it's melting all of the debris off, aka like the sunscreen, that stuff, you don't see it, but it's in the skin, and you want your skin to be able to breathe in the, when you go to bed, and have that off. So I am using it, and I take that time as a mini massage. That's self-care. We talk about Galentine's Day. You start with this, and we don't just slap it on and take it off. What I'll do, oftentimes, I will put that on, rub it really, and then maybe I'll walk into the kitchen and set up my vitamins for the next day, or do some, various things, and leave it on there. You don't have to, but I like to do that. And really, I think it just kind of, my skin is the Sahara Desert, so anything to bring some moisture. So I do that first. And then I'll use a cool cloth or a warm cloth and wipe that off, and then go in with the cleanser, ladies. And what I love about this cleanser versus other cleansers, there's a million to choose from out there in our world of skincare, is that this is so, the feel, the slippage is so lovely, and it's hydrating. To me, it's very hydrating. But people say, well, hydrating is wonderful, but I have acne, but it has niacinamide, so it's just, it's to me, it's kind of the perfect balance, whether you're an oily skin, or whether you're acne prone, or, you're like me, your skin is screaming for moisture. It's got the most lovely texture. And I have to say, I don't know how many people get excited about cleanser, but I have to say, this is unique. And I have, like I said, I've been fortunate. I've tried and used a plethora of cleansing balms and of cleansers in my, just in my bathroom. I probably have 8 or 10. There's nothing else that I've tried that is like this. The texture and the feel is unique. There has not been one other product that I have tried that even says this is kind of similar. It's not, it's an league of its own on how it feels.
Yeah.
I like to put some in, and then I really kind of rub all over my hand, and then but you'll notice that once you rinse, your skin feels really lovely. Not like it was just stripped of anything plump. It feels kind of a plumpness to it.
Well, and you live in a place that's very dry too. And so, like, have you had experiences where like something maybe has a good feel on the skin or foam or texture, but then afterwards you're like, wait, that was, like you said, like, use the wrong hair product and your hair is like, what just happened? I feel like we can do that with our skin, especially with cleansers, where you're like, this is not the same.
Honestly, I have to say, and there's quite a few that I really do love, in brands that I really love their ingredients. But most of the time, and I was thinking about this lately, how darn dry my skin actually is, that as soon as I get out of the shower, within a minute or two, like, I have to put on my serums, because it hurts. Like, it's an uncomfortable, I say not like pain, it's an uncomfortable feeling when your skin is, especially your face, is dry.
Yeah.
I have rosacea. I have it very much under control because I do a lot of various things, but I think that's also part of the thing. I've got to be really careful. So even when I use something that has beautiful ingredients, most of the time I feel that dryness, not so great feeling right after I wash.
And do you feel like that's changed now that you're in your 50s versus even when you were in your 40s like me, or 30s, like that sensation, like after you cleanse, like maybe you could get away with using, different cleansers, and now you have to be more specific? Is that feeling like more intense after you cleanse?
I think it's definitely since menopause. Again, that's when my skin, I've lived in Las Vegas for, 24 years or so, and, or even longer than that. Oh my gosh, 30, maybe 30 years. I've lost track. And I definitely noticed that it's progressively gotten like, once I hit menopause, the dry scalp, the dry, just my hair, I could go 10 days and not wash it. The dry, it's definitely that way. But I have to say, even my daughter that's, I've got a 19, 34, and a 22, and my two younger daughters that are, here more often, and they're the same. When they get out of the shower, they're like, I need to put on some serum right away. Like, they can just kind of, so I think that it's both. It's living in the climate. Now, I can say we just went, I was just in LA for an event, and I flew in overnight, and I brought all of my skincare. And one thing that I have noticed is that depending on the climate, that I can put on various, my serums, and I'll layer them, and that how different, it is amazing how different, even just LA from Las Vegas, which is, 4-hour difference. It took at least twice as long for those serums to kind of settle in before I could put on the next one. So it really does. It's amazing how much your climate does come into play, as well as our hormones will definitely. And if you've got the heat on, I mean, there's so many factors we don't we don't really think about.
Well, and I see some people like in the comments kind of stating how where they live really does impact their skin, their age, their skin type. As far and questions about a double cleanse, because like you started, like a lot of people don't understand the need for it, why we might want to do it. But say you just use a single cleanser versus like integrating something in like the Superfruit Enzymes Cleansing Balm. Does your skin feel softer? Does it feel more moisturized? Does it feel more reinforced with the cleanse? Like for the people that are like, I don't know, or this seems, it seems interesting, but I'm not sure. Like, what would you say to that? The difference between like, because this is an amazing cleanser. I love this cleanser, but still like, there are reasons why, even if you're like, oh, I don't have extra stuff to take off my skin, like what would you say to kind of the impact of using the Enzymes Cleansing Balm?
Like I said, I think I spoke to that earlier, that really, I treat it like almost like a mask, if you will, prior to it. Really hydrates the skin.
Yeah.
Most important is it does take off. Like I said, you would be probably quite shocked to realize that when you're scrubbing really well with a single cleanse, when you're wearing makeup, or when you have done your due diligence and put on your, put your sunscreen all over your face and neck, that you actually haven't gotten all of that, all of that stuff off. What's a good test sometimes is that, and this is how I always kind of knew, hey, I didn't get it all off, is back in the day when I was just using just a single cleanse after makeup, is then I would use a toner, which I don't, I use a toner here and there now, but I would use a toner, and then you'd wipe it with your cotton ball, and you would see all this stuff still on your cotton ball, and you think, wait a minute. So I always knew, I'm like, and then I'd use a lot of toner. So I inadvertently was trying to double cleanse using the toner as the second, instead of using like a balm and a cleanser.
Okay.
Realistically, that's what I was doing, because I would notice, I would wipe the toner on, look at the cotton ball and see some makeup there, and I would just kind of work my way around the face, which ended up making it even drier, because most toners, depending on, especially like Noxzema back in the day, those things will dry your face out. You talk about being the Sahara Desert, not in a good way, really not in a good way. So I think again, makeup or sunscreen, it just makes all the difference. And yes, luckily, like this, the texture is so beautiful. It feels great. But I think once you try it to do the double cleanse, and you don't have to do this all the time. Like I said, if you didn't wear, if you just worn your moisturizer, you didn't have sunscreen on, a single cleanse, I don't use this when I don't do that, but it's just a beautiful step, and you don't need much. Like I said, you don't need much at all. You will definitely notice. And it's lovely that when you use a balm, it gets like your mascara, even if you've got waterproof, like easy peasy, and you don't have to scrub. And that's the other thing. That is probably one of the most important things, is when we just use a regular cleanser, we're often, and we've got makeup on, and we're not using like a makeup remover for the eye makeup, is that the tendency is that we got to scrub a little bit more. And this is really tender area. Like this is like my just showing all of that right in there. Like this is the last place I want to tug on. On that eye area. And if you don't have a, kind of a balm that really dissolves all of that, you are doing two things. One, you're most likely going to be a little more aggressive than you want to be in that area. causes some redness and tugging. You don't want to do that. But also what you'll do, and this is when on the off time I didn't use a balm, I'll wake up the next day and I've got inadvertently raccoon eyes or some extra makeup.
And you think you got it all, and you're like, wait a minute, I did such a good job. Where is all this coming from?
Yeah, this stuff. So like I said, to me, I think of it as a kind of a mask, if you will, because it does give you that beautiful feel. Again, you can use it, massage it in. It feels so lovely. Take that time for a little extra self-care to stimulate the skin. And yeah, like I said, I think anyone that tries it once, they're like, I love it. I love it. And I want it in my routine because it does feel so nice. It's not money wasted down the tube. It really serves as a function. And I think it's, do you want to speak on some of the ingredients? There's a lot of balms out there, but why, what we've got enzymes in here, passion fruit, guava leaf, papaya leaf, so there's enzymes that generally, oftentimes balms will just be a balm to cleanse it off and nothing really active or purposeful ingredients.
Well, and those are all ingredients too that are at an appropriate level for a cleanser that just actually have a synergy when they are in a cleansing product. And so they can help additionally soften, smooth the skin, help in the removal of what's on your skin. But, you want something that is going to be nourishing. Like you said, you don't want to scrub, you don't want to tug, you don't want to be stripping your skin barrier. And, so both the cleansers, like both with, those fruit leaf enzymes, and then the vitamin C and niacinamide in here, they're all at a level because it's different when you're using something that stays on your skin versus something you're washing off your skin. And so, that light level that's just going to like add a boost, add a synergy to that clarifying cleansing process, protect the skin barrier. And I've seen people saying they haven't tried the cleansing balm. Yeah, I mean, love the balm. I love it. It makes the skin so soft and supple. And that's what it is it's going to help effortlessly dissolve all the stuff you want off your skin, but help protect those things that you want to leave on your skin and help keep your skin barrier reinforced. And
yeah, and the other thing I think too is, again, I'm speaking from a consumer standpoint because I know, the climate we're all trying to, where we put our money and what we spend, things can get, out of hand in this climate. And I think the other thing that is important to realize is that less is more. So especially when you're doing both, literally you would take just a little bit and you warm it up on your hands to put on. But also, I know this from my own experience. You don't need much, ladies. You see people, they're like, just going to town on it. It's like a squirt or two. And that is it. Again, taking it, giving it, spreading it a little bit here first, and then work it through. So when you do it that way and you just are mindful that you don't need much, this will last you a very long time, even if you're washing your face every day. So it's not like you're like, oh my gosh, this can last a long time. I don't know what the recommended is, several months, but if you use it with, just knowing a little goes a long way, then it's very economical and a necessary. And I believe you're going to start noticing more and more just your overall skincare routine, how it looks from this from this process of cleansing from the finished product. And that, don't be fooled to think that I can just use whatever cleanser and then put on my serums. I have learned that they all play with one another to either give you a better result or not so much. So even if you got something that's like not such a great product, you can sometimes get away with it. But I've found that when you kind of really find what works and what really has, plays well and builds together, that's when you get that beautiful glow, that skin that looks so great that you sometimes wake up and say, I'm not going to put makeup on today. I really love how my skin looks. I love the glow. To me, that's the ultimate compliment to a brand, but it's the ultimate, for me, the goal. The older I get, the less makeup that I want to wear and feel confident about that. That's why, to me, skincare is so important, as well as lifestyle and, healthy diet and treating yourself with love. All of those come into play. But ultimately, the better we can take care of our skin, then the less we have to hide, the things that we don't love, because your skin will just glow. And it'll make you
makeup, makeup is not like super forgiving as our skin matures.
100%.
And so like when you are able to rely on your skincare to have it help, your skin look youthful and radiant and feel moisturized and feel good, you know, you don't have to rely on makeup. Because I mean, in the comments, how many times have you thought your skin looked great and then we go to put on makeup and I'm like, that made it look not as good. So it is nice when you have products that create that synergy and you feel like I can wear the type of makeup that I want to, that helps enhance how my skin looks, instead of feeling like you have to hide it or you put something on and it actually maybe didn't play nice with your skin. And people are asking about, yes, the cleansers are great for all skin types. Both cleansers work for all skin types, from dry skin to oily skin. They work for all skin types. And so I want to make sure. And toner, a double cleanse is not the same as toning. Like Vanessa was saying, that, you know, sometimes we lean onto a toner thinking like, oh, it's a part of my cleansing step. And it can additionally help clarify the skin. But really a toner, especially the hydrating toner, is going to help prepare your skin for the rest of the routine, deliver those like hydration ingredients. But it's not the same as like a double cleanse and truly, truly cleanse.
And your toner, let's just be very clear, your toner is not your grandmother's toner.
No.
Okay. You know, or the Noxzema that I was talking about, that most, and you'll hear this so often, people say, I don't tone. And I was actually on a beauty call with a group of beauty influencers on Sunday, and we were talking about this. And she's like, I don't ever tone. It's way too drying for my skin. And, you know, that's the typical. So, you know, I would say the typical toners do strip. And unless you have a specific, like for me, way too drying and just unnecessary. I want to add the moisture. You know, that was one other thing that you mentioned. You were talking about like looking good with your makeup and not. I was talking to a makeup artist who I love, and she works with a lot of celebrities. And she said that we were talking about skincare the other day, and that she said you'd be surprised at how many professional artists on set don't prep the skin. Mm-hmm. And just put on the makeup. And we're talking about like not getting I can't imagine. So like when you have a beautiful, you know, when we say prep the skin, using, you know, your serums, using like the dewy, that you get a beautiful finish. That's what dictates. And she even said that for her, mm-hmm. you have to prep that skin with beautiful skincare and the right serums so that you get that glow, so that all of the makeup that you put on looks that much better. And she agrees that you can use less. Yeah. Of the makeup when you've already got the natural glowy do, then you can kind of, you know, fill in the areas that need some, you know, TLC, if you will.
Yeah, you can be like intentional. So Tisha Lewis, you won our power trio. Congratulations. You're the second winner of the show. So let's talk about the power trio, because that is, and we're seeing questions about like order of layering. So we'll try and address that too. So like we've cleansed, we've added on the amazing hydrating toner. And now let's talk about serum layering. So congratulations, Tisha Lewis. And if you guys want a chance to win, make sure you're engaging in the comments, asking your questions. We have a lot of questions. We are for sure going to try and get to them and answer them. But we have our incredible customer service team in the chat. Kaylee, who's amazing, is always in the chat. And so feel free to ask your questions, and so many of you people will be working on answering them. So let's talk about the trio. So the trio is our Bright and Even serum, our Dramatically Dewy serum, and our Firm and Lift. And it's where so many people may have seen your lovely face in some things on social media talking about the trio, but it's where so many people actually start their journey with Go Pure, is with these serums. And I know we're talking about pairs, and this is a trio, but maybe we can kind of talk about the pair in the daytime routine and the pair in the nighttime routine. I would love to hear about how, like, your experience with these when you first use them, and like how you like to use them.
Well, first of all, this was my entry into Go Pure Beauty. So I am one of those customers that, you know, got hooked on the trio, and then have since passed it along to my sister, to several friends and family. This really is the foundation. I think that's what I think that was so smart about what Go Pure Beauty did with putting, you know, these absolutely work together. You know, you don't have 18 different types of serum. Mm-hmm. You have the 3 that are necessary to give you a great result. So it's
those change makers, the things that are actually going to add a synergy to your skincare routine. And I know that, you know, you are all about nutrition and not just topicals. You are very much about like that holistic approach to like whole wellness, skin wellness. And like, these are basically like your little skincare vitamins in a jar.
Great.
You
Yeah.
apply topically. It's like, take your vitamins, apply your vitamins. And when you have, you had mentioned earlier about how important vitamin C is for daytime. And we know that retinol is amazing at night. So like from your perspective, what do you have to say about like why using serums are important for like just more healthy looking, more youthful looking skin and to keep your skin happy?
Well, vitamin C is an incredible antioxidant, if you all didn't know that, ladies and gentlemen, and it is. And the Go Pure has vitamin C, kakadu plum, and ferulic acid, and it helps break down those free radicals that are around us. You can't get away from them. Even if you say, I don't go out in the sun, Vanessa, you're in front of your computer on your phone, those free radicals are hitting your face, always. So this, if you have age spots, if you have melasma, if you have uneven tone, vitamin C is, absolutely an incredibly invaluable, part of your skincare routine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we'll talk about the sunscreen, but you got to have that too. Like this is a note. We're starting with this, but you can't do this without this.
Yeah.
But the vitamin C is amazing. And I know that there are some people out there that are very sensitive. There's different types of vitamin C, and some people have more sensitive skin than others. My skin takes vitamin C really well. I have one daughter that she can do vitamin C, but kind of at a lower level. So it just depends. And what I love about, I mentioned that because what I love about Go Pure Beauties, you guys also have 2 or 3, maybe even 4 different types of vitamin C, the oil, the powder, and this different levels. But what is so beautiful about this particular one is it is extraordinarily gentle, like on the skin. Like to me, I've had no irritation whatsoever.
And I love that you mentioned that because like there is a huge range of vitamin C's out there, and everyone tolerates like not just vitamin C, but things like retinol and other active ingredients very differently. And so like starting with the serum that is super easy to tolerate makes a huge difference. And free radicals just happen like as a part of our natural skin processes too.
Right.
People don't realize it's not just about, especially when it comes to free radical damage, it's not the same as UV damage. And so like our skin has natural antioxidants. Melanin is actually a natural antioxidant in our skin, but even natural processes create free radicals that can be damaging to our skin. And vitamin C is so important at helping like neutralize that visible impact. But again, like having something, that's why I love this in our trio, because it is so easy to tolerate. And it's like that kakadu plum is like a super antioxidant, but I love the dewy with it. And I've had seen questions about the dewy in the comments. Like I love them as a pair because when you're using potent actives, pairing a serum that, helps keep the skin looking hydrated, help keeping it looking plump. But this is so different because it supports the skin barrier. Also, like when you're using potent actives, pairing it with something that just helps keep your barrier happy and healthy is going to help you be able to use more potent things, use them more often, use them longer, and then get a better result. So like if someone's like, oh, I just want to use one, like what would you say to them if you're like, there could be a little synergy if you use the pair together?
Well, here's what I believe. Vitamin C is a, again, a must. Like you have to have this in your routine again, but you're going to be wearing your mineral sunscreen or you can't play with us.
Yes.
I want you really, because otherwise everything that you're doing, you could spend hundreds of dollars on your skincare. And if you do not protect it, then because trust me, the sunspots will come out. Just don't. So I would say if you're just going to get one, then vitamin C has to be in your routine. But for every reason that I mentioned earlier about the first hydration, a dewy glow, better, and not, you may even say, well, I have oily skin, I don't need that dewy glow. No, let's talk about that because that's different. Oily is different than a dewy glow. And this is different than, if you have oily skin and you put on makeup and you're going to have that, this doesn't do that. This is not like an oil slick. This is hydrating the skin to give it a dewy glow, which is different than I put on Vaseline and I look like I'm, it is very different. It is a hydrating, almost think of it like a thin moisturizer that just seeps in and gives you a plump skin. And so when you use the vitamin C, the nice thing is your serum is very hydrating. Oftentimes, depending on the variety, vitamin C it's not oil-based at all. You put it on and it's great, but then your skin is just as dry. Like you put it on and it's there, but you have to using. So again, this would be a must, a non-negotiable. But if you want to up level your skincare and you really are like, I want to get the best result, I want to look my best, I want to be that girl that wakes up and my skin looks great and I have nothing else on it. This is the missing ingredient of your routine. Vitamin C, adding this, then your moisturizer, eye cream, then some sunscreen, and then you're out the door.
And it looks like we have another winner, Molly Thompson. You won our Dramatically Dewy Serum plus our water cream, which are two amazing, like, barrier supportive, skin happy buddies. And there was a question, is the Dramatically Dewy a hyaluronic acid? This actually is not just a basic hyaluronic acid. This has 3 different weights of hyaluronic acid. So it hydrates the look of skin, gives more dynamic plumping with those different size molecules. But then it has hibiscus and those other moisturizing ingredients. Like Vanessa said, it's like this perfect light moisturizer for your skin. So it goes way above and beyond a basic hyaluronic acid serum. Yeah.
And I have above and beyond. Right. And I have something to say about hyaluronic acid that I have realized over the especially when it's, I mean, it's kind of like everyone's like, oh, hyaluronic acid, it's in everything. It's this, and you just need your serum. I believe that just whenever I've used just a plain straight hyaluronic acid, you put it on, and you damp your skin and because it soaks up like 10 times the amount of the moisture, or 100 times, whatever that number is. But just plain basic, I put it on, my skin is a little tacky and I don't feel really any benefit. Yeah. I just feel like it's a waste in my routine. Yeah, that's what I love when people have, when products and brands have hyaluronic acid within other ingredients that give you a beautiful feel and texture, but just straight hyaluronic acid doesn't do anything for me. Honestly, I just
I'm like, so obsessed that you said that, Vanessa. That makes it, because I will rant. I will like go off on a rant. And I actually have some content that I filmed and a blog I'm actually writing on literally what you just said, because like, for years, I'm like, a basic hyaluronic acid serum, there's hyaluronic acid in so many things, but just that one weight is not going to add, anything amazing to your skin, and definitely not long-term.
And I also noticed, I have noticed this in the past, that if I'm not careful, I'll get that peeling. The peeling.
Yeah, the peeling and the weirdness. Yeah.
And then you put your moisturizer on, and there's just something about it that will oftentimes, and there's nothing worth, ladies, especially when you've done your skincare and then you go to put your makeup on and it's peeling. It's the absolute worst. And I think hyaluronic acid straight has a tendency to do that. That's what is so awesome about your product. It is not like, again, it's not that gel kind of single ingredient. It really is like a gorgeous moisturizer. And what you can do too, what's so nice, because it's so light. Look at that, even there in the dark. How gorgeous.
It's not sticky. It has that slip.
And it stays. So it also, that glow stays. So unlike a hyaluronic acid or a lot of products you put on, your skin absorbs it pretty quickly, and then it's matte and there's nothing, not the dewy. So you can add this. It's so light in texture that you can add this throughout the day. So you've put on your skincare and you're like, oh, I want to do a little touch up. Well, oftentimes you can't do touch up with a lot of products. But this really is just such a lovely product. And you will not get any peeling, and it gives you a radiant glow.
And it is like, it was funny when I was doing these like skincare pairs, dewy comes up a lot because it pairs with everything so well. Those ingredients work in your daytime routine. They work in your night routine. They work with vitamin C. It works with retinol. It's going to work with the other ingredients that you're using. And yes, someone's asking if we have it in sets. We do have a lot of sets with the dewy. So if we actually have like a whole section on the site with lots of different sets. And it just kind of pairs with everything very, very nicely. Do you like using it in your nighttime routine with something like a retinol permanent lip serum?
I always layer. And so I'm doing at least 2 serums, sometimes 3. I usually don't do more than 3 because that becomes overkill. But something I learned recently, and I love this, is that you really, so if you're, someone asked about how you layer and how you pair. What I have learned, and this makes sense to me, is, well, your thinnest to thickest. I think we kind of, more of us know that your serum, as far as thin to thick, is how you apply. But also, and if it's oil-based, then it's got to go last. And I do want to talk about the oil-based because that's still a confusing thing for oil-based, like the vitamin C in the when to put it on. But something I learned is that really when you're going to be layering, you've got several different products that you want to put the whatever ingredient, whatever the active is that is most important to you. So I guess, if you're using niacinamide, or if you've got a certain issue on your skin and you've got these 3 serums, which one is most important to you to work on? This is, coming from a couple estheticians, that is their recommendations was, well, you use that one first and then kind of go from there as from layering. But I generally will always do the vitamin C first. And if I have like a vitamin B, or if I'm going to use some other type of serum because I play around with different ones, I'll always end with the dewy.
Yep.
And then I put in the evening, then I will put on, now I do 2 things. I do the retinol once or twice a week, because I do tretinoin. So I use a prescription strength tretinoin, and I don't need both when I'm
sure.
But so what I'll do is a couple of days a week where I will back off on the prescription, not use those. I have 1 day a week that I don't do anything. It's just Pampers. It's the Pamper night. I do my skin rotation where it's, I'm just loading it up with goodness, but nothing irritating. Just to, usually that night I will exfoliate. So that will be, so I do, I guess, a little bit of aggressiveness. I'll do, my scrub that night, and then I will pamper. I will feed it with love and nothing that's, no retinol, and that's once a week. And then, like I said, once or twice a week, I will do, if I weren't doing my tretinoin, my prescription that I do, then I would be doing this every night, except for that, for me, because I have I'm a champion when it comes to this. I've worked my way up. I say that for my skin. I use baby steps. Now, This is a beautiful, gentle, I think this is a gentle formulation, which is lovely, but I still, say with caution for people that are brand new, start, you don't deep dive in right away. If you want to have the best result without risk of irritation or anything that, because everyone's skin is different, tread lightly, go gentle with your skin, take your time. This is not a sprint. This is a lifelong love affair. And so therefore, maybe you start out once a week or twice a week, then kind of every other day, as long as your skin is happy. And the other thing I will say about retinol or tretinoin, any of those, is that for me and for many women, I am very cautious around my nose, and then in this area too, because that's much more sensitive. And I know for me always, so when I'm using this product, or I'm using my tretinoin, nothing gets put around here except for my moisturizers and my serums.
Yes. Well, and I love that you bring that up too. And because I'm always so conservative with how I recommend people start something like retinol, because there can be a delay. Like, you're like, oh, my skin thinks this is great, it's loving this. And then all of a sudden your skin's like, you went a little too fast. I am not super happy. And so
my daughter,
I thought you said you did that too.
I went slow because I didn't want what they call the uglies, the peelies. But my daughter, I'm ratting her out. My daughter that's in LA, she, has been dealing with acne for some time now. And I got her some retinol for Christmas, and she was trying this kind of a new product that she was trying. And she took it with her. She's like, Mom, look at her skin was looking great. And then she freaked out and sent me pictures of video. She was like, her skin was totally a wreck. She burned herself, like a wreck. Like when I say and then I said, honey, how much did you use? And she goes, I was using it every day. And I said, first of all, you shouldn't have been using it every day. She has very sensitive skin. And then I said, how much were you using? I've taught them like the size of a pea, She goes, all over my face. Like I said, like a lot on your, not like a pea, all over my face. A lot, Mom. Like I said, like you're putting moisturizer on. Yeah. Don't do that.
No, we don't want to do that with any retinol. Like even the most gentle retinol, especially not anything like prescription or anything in between. It can just be so much. And that's why I love pairing the dewy with retinol, because I get a lot of questions. One of the top questions is, can I use hyaluronic acid products? Can I use the dewy with retinol? Because retinol does seem like it has a lot of rules. But I love it because it does help keep your skin looking and feeling happier, because it's not just hyaluronic acid. It has those like true barrier supportive components to it. And when you keep your barrier happy, you can do a lot more with retinol products for sure.
Exactly. And I know that's what's nice. I mean, the main thing you can't do, like, I use argireline, which is kind of the muscle relaxer, if you will, for the wrinkles, which I love, but it also doesn't play well with, like, sometimes I use copper peptides, which you can't. Copper peptides don't play well with vitamin C. So there are some rules, and you really have to play them, one, so you don't get skin irritation, or two, that you don't cancel out the product. So that is why Dewy is gentle, and it works. It plays so well. So it takes the guesswork out of. And then I believe too that even if you were someone that had, a little more sensitive skin, by using this, you're cutting down you're just, kind of pampering the skin that much more for any, risk of an irritation from starting a new product.
Yeah. And I like to, cleanse my skin, tone my skin, then I layer on my Firm and Lift, and then I top that with the Dewy. And that's what you were saying too, right? You like to do it. And but again, like, in so many ways, like especially with retinol, there's a more active application and a more buffered application. So again, like you were saying, the thing that you want to do the most heavy lifting, the thing that's going to target your concern the most, you can, like, after, when you have cleansed toned skin, apply that serum on first, and then layer anything that you want to support it, like the 10% niacinamide booster, like the dramatically dewy. But if you layer it on later, like if you do have sensitive skin, you can even apply your retinol after you've moisturized and sandwich it and buffer it. So like, I never want anyone to stress out about the order, because these products are formulated to work really well. And so you're just kind of like, are you doing a more active application or a more buffered application? You're still going to get a great impact.
Right. So I know the question was dewy before or after. So I would be applying, again, I have no issue with all my skin for the most part, since I know my little sensitive areas. I can go aggressive in my approach because I've been doing this now for several years, or 4 years or more. But you would put on, for me, I will double cleanse my face. Then I will put on my, sometimes, even though what I've been doing, I have to say, I'm telling on myself, but it's you can do it, but you have to be careful. My skin is fine with it. Sometimes I've been doing vitamin C twice a day, or if I want to do copper peptides, I'll do that, in the daytime. I'll do my vitamin C at night, and then I will do, I'll do the vitamin C, and then I will do the dramatically dewy. Mm-hmm. I kind of mix it up, and then I will put on the Firm and Serum, or I will even my tretinoin. Mm-hmm. Then I will put on my moisturizer in. But if you have sensitive, you can easily, what I did when I first started, with my very first was like Paula's Choice, I think, years ago, of my first little, before my first retinol, I mixed it with the moisturizer. So I went down the rabbit hole. I did not want what they call, again, the uglies, the peelies. So I did everything that they said to do, which was slow to sandwich it. Like I said, put your moisturizer first. You can mix it. And it's a great idea to mix it into your moisturizer, because in that way too, especially if you're first starting out, why not? That way you're not going to get any kind of, 99.9, any kind of irritation. You're easing it into the skin. And so that is what's beautiful about these formulations. Whether you do it on the clean skin without the moisturizer, or you mix it with your moisturizer, and really the mixture with your moisturizer, I think, is really a lovely approach. And then if you're really sensitive skin, you can do this. You can put your moisturizer on, then your retinol and the Firm and Lift, and then you can put moisturizer on top of that, so you can sandwich it. So I know that's probably a lot. You're like, oh, this sounds like so many different directions. I guess the nice thing is that you can't go wrong with it. Yeah. Except just being gentle, and don't, like I said, don't try to win the race on the first go.
Yeah. And it is versatile. Like it is very easy. It's just kind of like, the closer to your skin you get it, it's going to be the most active application. And then if you're putting things that are more moisturizing underneath it, it's going to buffer it a little bit, cushion it a little bit. And that's a great option for people just getting started or that have sensitive skin. But like you said, it's very versatile, and it's easy to try different things to try and figured out. And it's really, really quick and easy when
And
you're doing your routine.
one thing we didn't talk about, and I want to make sure we do, because
Yes.
especially of ladies of a certain age, but I think you start when you're young, is we've been talking about putting it on your face. But your face, when you're going to be using these things, your face is going to be this. Your face is going to start here. It's going to be all this is your face. This is your face. This is your face. Your neck and décolleté, because trust me, this is the first age. And the backs of the hands, you can see my sunspots from there. So this, you talk about, this is much, more tender in this area that will show your age and this. So think of this as one piece, and I used to be cheap with myself, and I literally, I was buying product. I was so stingy. I would just do my face because I'm like, oh, I don't want to. It was like, oh, this is another area. It's too much, And I was literally, now as I've gotten older, I'm like, no, you lather it on. Like it goes one piece, and never ever forget the backs of the hands. You will thank me. You will thank me by doing that. Like that is, you may use a little bit more product, but nothing like, and you've seen it where you're like, someone, oh, their face is so gorgeous. And then down below, it's like they've just left it neglected. Yeah. And, it's just really easy just to carry it down. And it's nice because you can just do a massage and, just do the whole thing. It's good.
Well, and have you used, because I know we've had questions about the vitamin C dry oil, and you wanted to chat about that. That's one of my favorite products to put on like the neck, the décolleté, the backs of the hands, because it's so potent, but it is so easy to tolerate. And the skin on the neck is thin and it can be very sensitive. And I love pairing that with the neck cream and some of the other things. But have you used the vitamin C dry oil on the hands?
Yes, I have, which I love. I love doing it from my neck and my hands. My question is, and I know that this is a question, and honestly, I don't know that I've ever gotten an answer that I'm 100% confident with.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear what you have to say. And that is that you've got a vitamin C with oil-based, and you want to also, you're playing with some other serums. Again, in fact, I was using the oil until I heard you shouldn't do this. I was putting that vitamin C oil as my first step always, because that was just something I was taught. But knowing that something's oil, and then you're going to be putting, other serums on that aren't oil-based, what's your feeling and suggestion of when you're using an oil-based vitamin C and other serums in your routine?
Okay. This is such a great question. I could have like a very nerdy, like sciencey answer, which I will like spare you all from. But really, again, it's very versatile. It kind of depends on, do you want it to be the most active thing? Because the vitamin C dry oil is different than traditional oils. If it were something even like a rose hip seed oil or something, I would have a different answer. But this is a dry touch oil that does absorb into the skin very easily. Your skin naturally likes oil-based things better than water-based things. And so typically when I'm giving a recommendation, I like to start with water-based things and then top it with oil-based things, because our skin is actually naturally less receptive to water-based things. And if we're reinforcing that oil barrier, it could make it harder for those water-loving ingredients to absorb. Okay. But if you're looking for like the most bang for your buck out of a vitamin C, out of a spot treatment, you just have to know that it could reinforce your skin barrier a little bit, but this is very dry touch. I would say just give it more time if you really wanted to layer it first, or if you wanted to have this act like something that would actually buffer your retinol, because this can be paired with retinol. But when I layer my skincare, I do this after my other serums, either over or under my moisturizer, just because I do like to start with the more water-based ingredients, let those get into the skin. And oil-based things can actually, because of essentially think of like how a magnet is with polarity, can actually help drive water-loving things into the skin that might have a challenge. So I like to think of like, this is going to help with the oil, like push some of those other things in a little bit as well.
Okay. So then so if you're using this, so you've done your, we'll say at nighttime, you've done your firm and lift, and you've put on your dewy. And then, if I'm hearing you correctly, then you put on your moisturizer, maybe some eye cream, and you would use the dry oil as your last step, or would you use it before the moisturizer?
I like to put it, especially in the winter, under my moisturizer. But my main moisturizer that I use is the water cream, and it does work very well either way. But dark spots and hyperpigmentation are my main concern. I'm super fair.
Mhm.
I have a lot of stubborn hyperpigmentation, and that's my number one concern. But it is versatile because it's a dry touch oil. Other oils, I would say last. And I like doing last, something like a rose hip. If you're just doing something that it has more emolliency, has like maybe like heavier fatty acids in it, I would do last. But this, because it's dry touch and it has that squalane, and like it's a 30% oil-based vitamin C. So 30% of this literally is a type of vitamin C. And that's very potent. And your skin is naturally going to be more receptive to it. So you don't actually have to worry as much being like, if I don't put this on first, it's not going to absorb, because it's a very high potency and your skin's naturally going to want to drink something like this in more easily than other water-based
I'm
forms.
excited about this. This is great. Now I feel honestly, you've given me the most confident answer that I would run with. This is great, because obviously I have different vitamin C's that that in my routine that I like to try, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. And the other thing I've been doing, you mentioned like the different oils. I'm a huge fan. I was actually I went to a beauty event, and one of the it was a dermatologist that had put together the skincare line that was lovely, and he said, put the they had an oil in their foundation. He said, we really like to mix some of that together, because I had said, I don't think your moisturizer is hydrating enough for me. I fell in love with it. So now I often do that. I will take a little oil, whatever my moisturizer, even if it's especially at night, because my skin's so darn dry, it is the most luxurious thing. Just a little bit of, so whatever oil you do have, it is so nice to take that. And I think it actually does a better application if you take some of your moisturizer and a little bit of your, of your favorite oil that you like, mix it. It gives it a really beautiful, like great little before, just so you're soaking it in.
Yeah. And I love that. I I always want to reinforce to people that I will nerd out so hardcore on like the science behind like why I make different recommendations with skin layering. It's one of my favorite things, like understanding how different factors impact like how stuff absorbs into your skin, or like they interact with each other, like with products on the skin. But the Go Pure products are formulated to be like at that potent level, at that tolerable level. And skincare is very subjective. And like Vanessa and I talked about, even your environment impacts maybe how you want to layer things, because we both live in a place that's very dry. But I know when I'm in New York or Los Angeles, in times when there is more moisture in the air, my skincare even behaves differently on my skin. And so I don't want you all to stress, like with the dry oil, like we have one of our dermatologists that loves to layer this under their retinol. Like I like putting my retinol first and then topping it with something like this.
Right.
I love mixing it into my moisturizer, even if I want like a little beer. So good.
Yeah. Actually, I was just saying the other thing that we didn't talk about, but it needs some attention, at least to be mentioned, is the powder vitamin C. Talk about that. If you're someone like, I don't want to have to put like, if you're someone who just doesn't like to layer stuff, all you have to do is take that vitamin C powder, put a little of that in your moisturizer, and you're good to go. So it's less. So if you, I mean, I think there are some people that really just don't like that, like idea of putting a bunch of different levels of layers on it, or have like just a weird aversion to it, if you will. That is a great way to take just a little bit of that little white powder into your cream, and it's beautiful.
Well, and it's stable and it's versatile. And so the main thing with this is you just pick what you want to mix it into. You just don't want to mix it with another high potency vitamin C or an oil, because this type of vitamin C is water loving. And so in order for it to dissolve and do what it needs to do, it needs something water-based, which is going to be like your other serums or a moisturizer, because your moisturizer will still, you could literally just mix it with water if you wanted to. Like it's so easy and it stays potent and stable till you mix it.
Okay, so a question then. So if your moisturizer has an oil in it, is that a no-go then?
No, if it were something that was like a super rich cream, like the super rich creams.
Like the second ingredient is oil or
no, I wouldn't even worry if it was the second ingredient. But you know how some of them are very, very, very rich creams? I would just want to like do a spritz, like a little spritz of like my little Evian spritzer, wherever I don't even know where that went. In like a tiny one in my hand, and put the powder in and then mix it with my moisturizer if it were a super heavy cream. But really, so many of those products will just have enough water content.
Right. But Go Pure's moisturizers, they're all, you could use
easy peasy. Yeah. I'm talking like the really rich creams, just because you do want it to dissolve, and it dissolves like instantly. And so that's I mean, it's like, I joke that this is like the vitamin C salad shaker. It's like, oh, do I want a little extra vitamin C? Do I just want to shake it in? I love mixing with the dewy. I actually, in the summer, love mixing it in my
That's
Bright and Even serum.
great idea.
I mean, those are my two like top choices typically when I use it. Or sometimes I do my skincare routine and I'm like, maybe I do want a little more vitamin C. Then I'll put like a dasharoo into my moisturizer. But again, super versatile.
And I think as far as the one other thing about layering is how long do you wait in between? And again, for the most part, for most of them, it's a minute or two. I mean, it's not, that can seem painful, but it's not literally, especially when you're in a drier climate, it's pretty quick. Maybe it's a little bit longer, but just give that enough time to settle in before you put the next. And I also believe when you do that too, then you're less likely to have any of peeling issues overall. Let your skin absorb that for a moment, just a minute or two, then you're good for the next. I mean, if you can still see it on there and it's like, just give it a minute.
Yeah. And in Denver too, like I sometimes just give myself a spritz in between because it's so dry here that I want to keep my skin a little more damp, but it totally depends on like where you live and how much of the product you're using. But I don't want people to feel like they have to wait like a ton of time or anything like that, but it can be really quick and simple. And you can just tell by kind of how it feels on your skin. That's such a great thing.
And one other thing that I like to do with the vitamin C serums, especially, my skin is a lot better now, but I had so much melasma, so much sunspots through the years of like really bad damage, like a ton. And I found that when I'm doing the vitamin C, if you have, like I used to have a spot there that was pretty big. If you have certain areas that you really notice that are, of hyperpigmentation, give that a little extra attention, maybe making sure, because you usually just do a little bit all over. But for me, I like to take, and kind of similar with the Firm and Lift, I will, it kind of, we know that it rejuvenates the whole, it turns on the cellular turnover. But for me, if I've got like little crow's feet or smile lines or like this, I call them I don't smoke, but the smoker's lines that are there, I will make sure that specifically, that gets that area make sure that I'm definitely getting some coverage in that area. But I think kind of spot treating can help break down that pigmentation a little bit.
And that's why I actually use the 30% vitamin C dry oil for my extra spots. And because it has that extra compound in there that does really extra target beyond the vitamin C, the dark spots and hyperpigmentation. And THC ascorbate is such a good like dark spot corrector type vitamin C. But like the retinol, I do that with my 11. I have one here that's trying to crack. This one's wanting to make a permanent residence in my forehead. So that's where I give a little more. I'm like, get a little more retinol there.
Exactly. But we can't not mention we got
Maria Schultz. You just want a vitamin C dry oil and SPF, and this is one of the favorite skincare pairs is vitamin C and sunscreen. They are besties. So congratulations, Maria Schultz. You won this Galentine's Day duo. So share your thoughts on the vitamin C SPF dynamic duo pairing.
You like I said, if you're going to do this, you have to do this. Even if you don't do this, you have to do this. This is, like I said, you can do everything right for your skin, but if you are not protecting it, and let me just say, if you are not protecting it with a mineral-based clean sunscreen, regular sunscreens, yes, they block they block some of the damage, but do your research and you'll understand our skin's our largest organ, and you want it protected, and you don't want the ingredients in your sunscreen to be doing more harm than good. And that's what, unfortunately, we've been sold down a river when it comes to sunscreen. And there's a lot of, like I said, you can go down that rabbit hole yourself. You want a mineral sunscreen. So sorry about that. All the beautiful work that we do on our skin, it needs the sunscreen. And what's beautiful about your sunscreen is it's Glow Pure tinted. I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's fine. They have to deal with my pug being like a total sassy pants all the time. So
this gives it's an SPF 40, and it gives a beautiful glow, a really beautiful glow. So you can kind of see, and you look at it, you're like, oh, is that tinted? It's like the natural shading of, look how gorgeous this is. This you can use, you talk about wanting that the no makeup look. They literally walk out the door. I want to have a quick look. I don't want to put on makeup today, but I want to be protected and I want to look good. You do your little trio. You've washed your face, put on your little trio, put on your favorite moisturizer, eye cream, put this on. It gives, I mean, look at this. It's a really gorgeous. It's hydrating. Mm-hmm. It's not sticky. It's lovely. I love the fact it's thicker in the sense, not thick like, oh, that feels yucky on the skin. Thicker in the sense that it feels really luxurious on the skin.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's not peeling.
Well, and I love you said it doesn't pill. And we've had questions about the tint and about if your makeup has sunscreen in it, is that enough? The tint is a universal tint.
Never. That's never enough, by the way, ladies. Don't think for a second that and I did this for years. I thought I don't need to wear sunscreen because I'm buying my fancy, expensive foundation from, Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus. And I still had sunspots. I'd be out in the sunspots. The amount that's actually in most of those of the foundations is so minute. You're supposed to have, what is it, like a tablespoon? I don't know that I use that much, but I use quite a bit to cover the face. Do not think for a second. And what I would say for the most part with your foundations is don't even, if you happen to find something you absolutely love and it has the sunscreen in it, fine. You're still going to use your regular. But for me, I don't choose products anymore that are foundation that have a sunscreen in it, because I know that is not going to be the protection that's going to give me what I need to really protect my skin. It's going to come from this.
Yeah.
And I can also guarantee you that 99.9 of them aren't going to be a mineral-based sunscreen either. So it's just going to be a lot of ingredients that you really don't want on your skin. Remember, your largest organ is taking in everything you put on it. So we have to start being more mindful of that. And that's going to get not only for what it can do long-term, but also for the skin to look its best. Just think you want cleaner ingredients that work. And yeah. That's my soapbox.
Well, but it's such an important soapbox though, because like you said, you can be doing all of these other things for your skin, but if you're not protecting it with a sunscreen, you're not going to get the same impact, and your skin is literally continually being damaged because the sun damages our skin more than anything else, that UV exposure. And the amount of sunscreen that's in a lot of makeup typically isn't as high as a standalone sunscreen, and unless you are really piling it on. Like really piling on the foundation, it's just not going to be enough to really give you that true level of like SPF that the product is saying.
You want, there are certain products that you want to have standalone that I am getting what I need for protection or for whatever it's like with your vitamin C, all this. There are certain things that just, sometimes brands will throw everything into a product, and sunscreen is not one of those that you want to mess around with too much. You want to make sure you've got the pure thing that you're working with. And then of course, trying to find products because there's a million of them that play well with makeup, because that's a big thing. It's one thing you can have sunscreen without makeup, but that's why Go Pure, it's lovely. And it does play well with makeup, especially again, if you've done your steps and you've got your dewy and you've really prepped the skin so that you have a beautiful palette to put your makeup on.
Yeah. I love that. Because that's the thing is that, you want the products that play nicely together. You kind of want that perfectly prepped canvas, whether or not you're wearing foundation, because not everyone wears makeup, but when you have the products that make your skin look great without it and make your skin look great when you're wearing it, they play nicely with one another. It's just nice to have the option. It's nice to feel great in my skin, like with or without makeup.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing of all. Especially those, there's nothing better. It's like when you're working with someone, when I was working in the health industry and working with someone with their diet, there was always like a little part of me that when someone came and they had a really heinous diet and they're drinking soda pop and eating all the standard American, and you could take out one or two things and get like a big change. And you're like, when they've got a lot of things you can take out. I love that too, when someone's just coming in, like the newbies of the skincare world that are just coming in and haven't had a routine, that when they do add in like the powerhouse, simple steps that they haven't done, they generally get like a beautiful bang for the buck. And it's exciting. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for, all those out there that are just sticking their toe into like developing their first skincare routine with Go Pure Beauty. It is so much fun and is the best self-love that you could do. So Galentine's Day, Valentine's Day, it's great to love those around you, but there's nothing to me more profound than self-care, giving yourself love. And that starts with, what you put on your skin
Yeah.
and when you're doing it, telling yourself that you love you and you love the skin. Believe me, it all works. It's all part of that's the biggest beauty secret. It's the self-love. It's all the steps.
Well, and it's like that's the ultimate Galentine's Day thing is that, we have our friends and the people that we want to share stuff with, but like we can be our own Valentine and Galentine and show our skin some love and take a little time because like we should not feel guilty. Like you said, our skin is our largest organ. And when we take care of the rest of our body and do these things that contribute to our mental, physical, emotional wellness, like we don't get a hard time for it. So we shouldn't feel bad about doing that for our skin because literally taking care of your skin is a healthcare step. Sunscreen is FDA regulated for a reason because of the claims it makes in being able to protect our skin, and it is like very important. And so it is like, important to show our skin some love and use products that we love and take a little bit of time, a little bit of pampering, but it's also like a true wellness step,
right?
well.
And you know what, we're all going to age. Here's the thing too, we're all going to age, and we all age differently depending on our genetics, how well we've taken care of our skin, the luck of the draw. There's all kind of things. And some women, as they age, they make choices to go under the knife, go to cosmetic procedures or not. Everything in between. There's no wrong way. It's all beautiful. Whatever makes you feel your best. But what I do know, the lowest point of entry to feel good about yourself, because you look at yourself in the mirror many times a day,
Mhm.
and to me, the lowest point of entry to make yourself feel good and take care of yourself, no matter what you choose to do or not do in enhancing yourself as you age and feeling your best, it's with some simple, effective skincare. Like I said, it's, eat better, drink more water, but take care of your, even if you're saying, I would love to do this, but I can't afford any of that. You can afford to have a committed little skincare routine that makes you feel good when you look in the mirror, even when the wrinkles appear or even when the gray hair shows up.
Yeah.
That's something that it's like lipstick always fits, it's a one size fits all. Same thing with skincare. You do yourself the favor, because no matter what you're not loving about your appearance or whatever at any given time, you will feel better if your skin, if you've shown your skin some love.
Yeah. And it feels nice. It feels nice to take the time. And it really, I've seen like it's a transformative experience when we use something that actually has a positive impact on our confidence. It is a holistic, like transformative experience. And so it's amazing to be able to like share products that I genuinely believe and have seen like contribute that experience. And we want everyone to follow Vanessa. Remember, we have her handle at the bottom, Silver Liberation. Her name is Vanessa Chamberlain. She is amazing. Kaylee, do we have another giveaway? Did we do all the giveaways? Are we all giveawayed out? Do we have a grand prize? I can't remember. We've been having so much fun chatting. And I've been seeing questions about the eye cream and the neck cream, and this might be our final giveaway too. I see the confetti. Yes, Leah Keys, you want our Advanced Repair eye cream and Tighten and Lift neck cream. They're both amazing products. I know we've talked for so long, we didn't get a chance to really like speak about those, even though we talked about using our other products on our neck and chest. But congratulations, Leah Keys. You want our Advanced Repair eye cream and Tighten and Lift neck cream. Thank you everyone for contributing to the chat and for participating in the conversation, asking those questions. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for just having such an amazing conversation. Is there anything else you want to share with the lovely Galentines from Go Pure that joined us this evening?
I just, life is a journey. Life is a journey. And again, no matter how you decide to show up to, when it comes to skin, when it comes to aging, so I'm so big on the pro aging, is that at the end of the day, it really is how you feel about yourself on the inside. And again, using a little skincare time, make that a priority in your life. Make self-care a priority. And it not only will make you feel good and your skin will love you for it, but those around you will love you for it. Because when they say, self-care is not selfish, that when you put your seatbelt on first, you take some time for yourself, you can show up better for those you love. And, people say, oh, skincare, skincare is massively important. Again, because if you're not happy with how you look, and again, you look in that mirror multiple times a day, it affects how you show up in every area of your life.
Yeah. Well, I always love the insight that you share, the energy that, you bring to these conversations, and the time you take to share your experience and your insight and your knowledge with all of the lovely people that show up to these. So I just so appreciate you taking the time to hang out and chat with me, and we'll have a Galentine's Girls Night in.
It's perfect. Thank you so much. And like I said, I am a product of the product. My younger daughters use Go Pure. I'm 54 and I use it. And I think that speaks volumes that it works through various generations. Again, I'll put the plug in. What I love is it's affordable. It's transparent. The brand is very transparent. The ingredients are, with integrity. They work. And the price point, you can't beat it from all those standpoints. And I think that, again, with what's going on in our world today, having something that is affordable, that does work, is really important. It matters to me where I'm going to spend my money. That's a key factor.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that and for taking the time. I hope we get to chat again soon.
I would love to.
I'm always happy to hop on live with you on your page, anything else, and just chat and answer questions and hang out, because it's always such a delight, and you just, are such a light, and I appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me. This has been awesome. I love our conversation.
Yay. And for anybody that won a prize, I see questions. Customer service will be reaching out directly to you. If you didn't win, don't be bummed. We are live here on Multistream every other week. We're also live on TikTok quite a few times during the week. So follow us on all of our pages and spaces and things, because there's lots of chances and ways to participate in our VIP group for your chance to win. We just love giving out goodies. So follow us all the places and make sure you're in our VIP group as well, because we do lots of fun stuff there too.
Perfect. All right. Happy Valentine's to everyone.
Happy Galentine's. Happy Valentine's Day. And you all have a great evening. And thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.